Update 4 on Typhoon Fitow, which is currently a Category 2 typhoon with winds of 100 miles per hour and a pressure of 959 millibars. Current position is 23.2 degrees north, 129.2 degrees east, which puts it just short of the Japanese Ryukyu Island chain, which the storm is likely to move through over the next day or two, in between Okinawa and Miyakojima Islands at this time. Throughout the next 24 to 48 hours as a Category 2 storm, probably weakening at that time as it passes through, and then on to China, where it will probably strike as a strong tropical storm. Gale advisories in effect for Miyakojima and Okinawa Islands, as well as Amami as well, and parts of Kyushu right now in southern Japan. Strong wind advisories in effect for parts of Taiwan, chiefly the northern half, and orange typhoon warning in effect now for the coast of China, and that could be raised even further if the storm does still pose a threat to the Chinese coastline in the next few days. Probability percentages of tropical storm conditions in the next 96 hours are as follows. You can see there 90% on Okinawa Island in particular. That's where we'll probably see the worst conditions from the typhoon over the next 24 to 36 hours. 60% chance of seeing typhoon conditions over there as well. Will be worse towards the southwest, of course, where the storm will pass in between those two islands, Okinawa and Miyakojima. Sea surface temperatures right now currently fairly warm, around 28-29 degrees, and will remain that way pretty much until making landfall in China. We will fall just below the threshold 26 degrees just as it makes landfall, but really that probably won't make too much difference as to when the storm, as to what intensity it will be at when it does make landfall. The CMC model takes it a bit further south than what's forecasted at the moment, just north of the tip of Taiwan, just passing there, and then into China with another storm following suit, and then two more that form out in the western Pacific as well, which merge together by the looks of things. The GFS model somewhat similar as well, passing just north of Taiwan with that next system following in its footsteps as well, passing through the Japanese islands and then towards South Korea, actually looking at that, and then towards Japan, with that another storm forming after that as well, becoming rather an intense typhoon before moving towards the South China Sea. The latest satellite imagery then, here's the storm at the moment, moving towards the northwest generally. You can see quite a large eye at this time, somewhat ragged, but not too bad looking at this time, with the strongest of the storm or the rainfall, the storm intensity, towards the north or northwest of the storm at this moment. And as it moves towards the northwest, that's probably what will be of the most concern towards Okinawa and Miyako Island in Japan right now, as the storm moves towards the northwest. But that's what the current situation is. But still, strong conditions all around the storm pretty much at this time. You can see all that red there on this rainbow imagery wrapping around the whole of the storm in those last few frames. Little bits of white there as well, particularly intense parts of the cyclone. So looking right now in the world tropics, we have Invest 93E in the eastern Pacific, 10% chance of development. Tropical storm Karen, of course, in the Gulf of Mexico, likely to make landfall along the Gulf Coast of the United States. Jerry, what's left of it, not too far from the Azores now. Invest 99A in the Arabian Sea right now as well, not too far from the Indian coast. And this is the West Pacific right now. You can see Fitow, of course, which is moving towards those Japanese islands. Tropical storm Danas, which has also just formed, not too far from the Mariana Islands, just off to the north. And Invest 99W, which is hanging around not too far from the international dateline, and is likely to move towards the northwest, I believe, over the next few days. So this is our 20th tropical storm so far this year. That means 2013 is in 64th place. That's Danas, by the way, becoming the 20th. Fitow was the 19th. 8 typhoons so far, Fitow becoming the 8th one yesterday, and 3 of which have reached Category 3 intensity. Fitow has not done that just yet, but you never know what may happen in the next 24 hours. There could be a small possibility of the typhoon reaching Category 3 intensity, but I wouldn't bet on that just yet. This is what the current situation is on the website. You can see that, what's going on there, pretty much reflecting what's shown on this video, but as time progresses and this video gradually becomes out of date, you can check the website, which should be keeping up to date on the latest developments with regards to the storm. And the main storm tracking page is force13.com/stormtracking.html. They are presented with the overview map showing all the storms that are out there, including invest and post-tropical cyclones, with tables at the top and bottom showing their intensities and indeed any warnings that are currently in effect. Obviously, we have a number of warnings in effect from this storm at the moment, as well as on the other side of the world in the Atlantic, so you'll want to keep up to date with both of those, whichever one you're interested in, or both as the case may be. But as far as this storm Fitow is concerned, we still have some gale advisories in effect for most of the Japanese islands, the Ryukyu Islands, as well as northern Taiwan and the coast of China, and that will remain the case for a little while yet. You can also find us elsewhere on the web, Facebook and Twitter, As always, just search Force 13. You should find us fairly easily enough, and please do leave a comment or subscribe or do whatever you wish. I don't mind. I do appreciate any positive feedback that comes through, or indeed any constructive criticism. I'm certainly all ears. But the next video on this storm will probably come at around 3 PM UTC on Saturday. That's the 5th of October UTC, but until then, that's all for now.